This is Proverbs 16 and 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 16 and 18 again. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. I'd like to start off by saying, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halor and La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bahakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and the like-minded brothers. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazalo, willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shawab Amwan back at you with another lesson. And this is going to be a quick hit. All right. The spirit jumped on me after I saw this video, to bring out a couple of scriptures. All right. And what I'm going to show you, all right, is something that happened about 5 hours ago. All right. Because I even looked it up online to see if it was legit. I thought it might have been AI. All right. But it wasn't AI. It was actually something that happened. All right. So in Brazil, all right, you have a statue that's of the Statue of Liberty. Okay. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right, the Lord is showing you what is about to come to America. Okay. This is, let me show you the video now. Just got to bring it up. All right. But again, this is what's going to happen to America, also known as Babylon the Great in the scriptures. Okay. So this was in Brazil, okay, and a strong wind basically knocked down the Statue of Liberty, all right, and eventually, all right, that's what's going to end up knocking America off its feet, all right, a strong destroying wind, all right, which that strong destroying wind is a representation of the thermonuclear missiles that's going to hit this place, okay. So it's all spiritual, all right? The Lord does spiritual things, man, and shows you signs and wonders, all right? And those that have the spiritual eye to see it, have the eyesight, all right? They're able to read these things through the spirit, all right? And this is showing you that in 2026, okay, Lord willing, if it be the Lord's will, all right, that this place is going to fall, man, all right? America, Babylon the Great is going to definitely fall, okay? Because this place is exceedingly polluted. It's wickedness, man. All right. Its sins has reached onto the heavens. Okay. And when I instantly saw this, all right, I thought about these scriptures. All right. Let's read this one more time. This is Proverbs again. Okay. Let's grab Proverbs 16 and 18. Pride goeth before destruction. All right. And this place is about complete pride. All right. Who runs America? All right. These little tiny hats. Okay. Esau, Edom, okay, and they are the two most prideful people on earth, okay, today, all right. So the pride that they have has deceived them. The pride of thine heart has deceived them, as it tells you in Obadiah, the first chapter, all right. That's why destruction is going to eventually come, because this place is filled with pride, and it says, "On a haughty spirit before a fall," all right. And you see the fall. You seen that statue, all right, just fall like it's nothing. With, I think those winds were at 55 miles per hour. Let me go look it up real quick. It says a 24-meter tall replica of the Statue of Liberty collapsed in Guayaba, Brazil, due to strong winds from severe storm on December 15, 2025. That was today. No injuries were reported, as the area around the retail store was isolated beforehand. All right. So yeah, nobody got injured. All right. Because it wasn't meant to injure nobody. It was meant to give you a sign of what's coming to America. Babylon the Great, okay, showing you that the great whore, all right, is about to be judged, is about to fall for its pride, okay. So let's grab these scriptures that came to mind, all right. The first thing that came to my mind was Revelations 18, all right, and I'm gonna read a little bit of it on down to like verse 8, all right. So this is Revelations 18:1, and it says, Babylon is fallen. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. All right. And that's Yahweh Shai. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all the nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Yeah, so all these other nations have followed after the ways of America. They all want to be like America. They all want to be next to be like that great golden city, because America's always been this great city that everybody comes from afar, right? Because this is the land, home of the brave, land of the free, land of opportunity. You see, you got people that come from all places of the world just to come visit America because they hear that this is a great city. You see, this is why it's that great city, Babylon the Great, in the scriptures. Okay, so you know you have all these nations that have joined, all right, onto the ways of Babylon the Great. All right, that's why when you go to these other countries, you see, you know, something that has to do with America in their country. All right, look, you was in the middle of Brazil. This was in the middle of Brazil, and what was right behind it? A McDonald's. Where does McDonald's come from? America. You see, so you know Esau was going to have the fatness of the earth, you know, and that shows that he has his hands in every place in the world, right? What's the most common spoken language? English. You see, and that's from what? From Babylon the Great, America. You see, so you know these places, all right, have constantly waxed rich through their abundances, through the abundance of their delicacies, as it says, man. Meaning that you know America's that cash cow. It always been the cash cow to all these other nations. You see, all these other nations get rich through, you know, them bringing their goods over here overseas, you know, selling their products to America, and then America selling it to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you see, because we're the multitude here, you see. So they make money off of us through America, all right. And it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. And this is what the Lord is constantly telling us, to come out of the ways of Babylon the Great, America, all right, because this place is going to fall. This place is going to be destroyed and is going to be annihilated through thermonuclear missiles. You see, this place is going to literally, all right, be taken out of the way. So the Lord doesn't want you to partake in her plagues. And what's the plague, all right, that's going to be brought upon this place? All right, let's finish reading this. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Okay, her plagues are what? All right, Zechariah 14:12. And it says, and this is the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. You see, and that's speaking about them thermonuclear missiles when this place gets hit with 200 million missiles, according to Revelations, the 9th chapter. You see, none of these missiles are going to break their rank. They're going to go exactly where they need to hit in America, Babylon the Great. All right, and this place is going to be it's going to be annihilated from New York to California. All right, it's going to be overthrown as Sodom and Gomorrah was overthrown, never to be inhabited again. You see, and it tells you that in Isaiah the 34th chapter. Okay, so let's go back to Slakia. Going back to Revelations 18:4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached on to heaven, and Yahweh has remembered her iniquities, right? All the evil deeds that this place has committed. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which has filled, fill to her double. Okay. So this place, America, has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand for quite some time. Okay. A long disease. All right. And the scriptures say that the physician cutteth off a long disease. One that is a king today shall die tomorrow. Okay. This is Jeremiah 50, and let's grab it from 1 second. This is 50 and Slovakia. 51:7. It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunk of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. You see? So, you know, at one point, all these nations are going to turn against America, all right, because the beast shall hate the whore, all right, and the rest of these nations and every one of her allies, according to, Obadiah, all right, the first chapter with us, the only chapter, all right, verse 7, all right, it says that the ones that were at league, let's just grab it real quick, okay, this is Obadiah 1:7. And it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. You see? So all these allies that were once at peace, okay, with Babylon the Great, America, all right, eventually will turn against Babylon the Great. Okay. So going back to Jeremiah 51, okay, and 7, and it says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunk. Why? How? Through her philosophies, her ways. Okay, the nations have drunken of her wine through and therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. You see? So eventually this place will fall. Okay. Let's go back to Revelations. All right. Let's go to Revelations, the 17th chapter real quick. Okay. And verse 4. All right. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. You see, and that's speaking about America. Okay, showing you that she was the one that was decked with gold and precious stones, that had everything. You see, everything was beautiful in America, right? This was that land that everybody will flee to, you know, to see what the hype was about. You see, that's why spiritually Sodom and Egypt, the scriptures say, man, because how was it the time of Sodom and Egypt? Sodom was a place that was just like, wow, I heard about Sodom. This place is supposed to be, you know, a far out place. You see, let's hear let's see what the hype is about. Well, the same spirits are here today, you see, and these people, you know, see that Babylon, okay, is this top, you know, place that everyone goes to, when it's really just filled with nothing but abominations and filthiness and wickedness, man. Okay, so let's go back to Revelations, the 18th chapter, and finish that up. Okay, it says 6, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. And the cup which she has filled to her double, that she has filled to her double. How much? She has glorified herself. That's the pride of this place. And lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit as a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh who judgeth her. You see? So America, all right, Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed with thermonuclear missiles. Okay. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not. Okay. This place has to go. And we pray for that day every single day. Okay. Hoping that this place goes tomorrow. All right. So we could get up out of here and righteousness could be established upon the earth through Yahweh Shai, man, where there dwelleth new heavens and new earth. All right. And there dwells in new righteousness. Okay. Now let's jump to Isaiah 47 chapter and I'll close it out with that. All right. This is Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust. The dust represents confusion. O virgin daughter of Babylon. All right. Why is she being called a virgin? Because a virgin is someone that has never been touched. You see, in America, with their pride, that's the spirit that they're constantly in, that they can't be touched. You see, that they're the powerhouse of the world and will always remain. It says, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind mill so like uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. You see, and that's a representation of this whore, you see, because that's what a whore does. She makes bare the leg, she uncovers her thigh, you see, she passes over the rivers. Okay, so she's being exposed as a whore right now, and this is the great whore, Babylon the Great. Okay, it says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. All right. And the Lord, all right, that's why the Lord tells you not to avenge yourselves, man, because vengeance is his. You see, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, all right, is coming back to destroy all these empires, all right, that are pretty much all in one in America, Babylon the Great. You see, so the shame of this place is going to be seen. It says, as for our Redeemer, Yahweh Shai, the Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name, in the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Because our people were brought here, man. This is not our homeland, all right? But we were brought here as a curse and a reproach given into the hands of our enemies, you see, pertaining to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, verse 68, man. Okay, we will come back to Egypt again in ships, all right? And we are spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. Okay, so we were brought here through ships from our homeland, okay? And we came here to serve, captivity for our wickedness. It says, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid the yoke. And thou said, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither did remember the latter end of it. You see, because they didn't think that they were going to be destroyed. Their inward thought, all right, of these Edomites and these elites that rule the world, all right, is that their houses shall continue forever. Okay. It says, therefore, hear now this, that thou art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in one moment, in one day. The loss of children, widowhood and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. Because this place is about what? Constant witchcrafts and different types of magics, man. You see? For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it has perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them, they shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter, none shall save thee. You see? So Babylon the Great cannot be saved, man. You see, this place is gonna go eventually with thermonuclear missiles, and that's what that was, man. That was a representation of the fall of Babylon the Great. Okay, and I'll leave you with this. This is Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. You see? So eventually this place is going to be annihilated, okay? From New York to California, never to be inhabited again. This place is going to be a place for the desert animals, okay? For the ravens, for the vultures, okay? This place is going to be in flames, all right, for a very long time, all right, till eventually that smoke goes out by itself, okay, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So, Lord willing, you will edify. So, with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, call Elohim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith and doing as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai. Shalom.